everyone and welcome. Today's video will be a top 10, the first I make on the channel. It won't be a random top 10. I choose to start with Nintendo DS games. The 10 best games for this wonderful console, in my opinion. I'm going to make other top 10, for example for the PS3 or the GameCube. I have different ideas, but we will see how things will go. I will explain how I set the ranking. Only the games I own are worth. In this case, luckily, I have 90% of the games I loved on the Nintendo DS, also because I bought them lately. We will just miss a couple of games that probably would have been between position 5 and 10, probably not more. I'm talking about Hotel Dusk and Another Code. They are two very cool games, but I still miss them in my collection. To draw up the ranking, I put in the first place the nostalgia and emotions that a game has given me over the years, and how strong they still are. Again, the ranking is personal. They are the best games according to me. However, despite this, I will also give general marks to playability, duration and music. Three quite important things, which however do not influence the ranking much. Again, it's personal, but I still give some objective votes. In general, in case you don't know the games, to let you know them. However, you will notice this while you look at the ranking. That said, I think we can start. At the position number 10, we find Dragon Ball Super Sonic Warriors 2. Unfortunately, I just have the cartridge. I'm not sure you can see it right now, but let's hope so. Only the cartridge, but still. Now we're going to see some gameplay specs, and we will see both objective votes, but mostly the feelings and the memories that this game still gives to me. Dragon Ball Z Super Sonic Warriors 2 is in my top 10, mostly because of this featuring. In Italian is called Massimo. It's the harder way to play this game. And after you choose your characters, you should battle against Goku. And this is the powerful Goku you ever met in every Dragon Ball game, I swear. Yeah, because it's very difficult to hit him. I don't know how I did it, but yeah, it's very difficult normally. And I used to play to this game with my cousin, and this is the main reason that this game is in my top 10. You can also play the story mode that is very full of things, a lot of characters and not easy at all. As you can see, there are a lot of characters like Piccolo, Vegeta and so on. And for this game, playability is 8.5. Duration is 8.5 and music is 8. I'm sorry you can't actually listen to the game music because of the voiceover I'm doing. I'm sorry for that, but luckily this is nothing special as other games, and for different games where the music is very important, I will do something different. At the position number 9, we find Micro Machine V4. Still don't know if you can see it. I'd have liked to have placed this game in a higher position, but well, let's see the gameplay. I will explain better the situation. Let's go. This game has the coolest soundtrack ever made for a video game. Listen to it, it's very cool. And this is the main reason because this game is in my top 10 in position 9. And I can't put it in a higher position only for this. Even because the rest of the game is a normal racing game. As I said, this is an old style racing game, so the visual is from above, and there are a lot of different modes so you can never get annoyed. This is the car chase mode, but there is also a classic mode where you need to arrive first. And another cool thing is that you have a lot of car to choose from, very a lot. And for that reasons, playability is 9. Duration is 9.5 because it's very long. Again, there are a lot of modes, a lot of cars, and a lot of hours to spend in this game. And it's 9.5 also for the music. Mainly for the main theme, the main soundtrack, but also for the other soundtracks that you can listen to every race. And this is Micro Machine V4. At the position number 8, we find The Sims 2 Island. This is not like a common The Sims. You need to survive, but let's see the gameplay so you can understand better. Here we are in The Sims 2 Island. That is very similar to Lost in Blue. I don't know if you know it. It's a similar game. Well, first of all, The Sims 2 Island has a different name in Italian. In Italian is The Sims 2 Castaway, and maybe also in Europe, but still The Sims 2 Island in America, but I'm not sure in Japan. By the way, you just need to survive. The main goal is to leave the island alive, possibly. It's a point and click game style, but it's very enjoyable. As you can see, you have to do different things here. You can catch bugs, you can plant vegetables. But let's give some votes. Playability is 8.5 because actually you can do a lot of things in this island. As I was saying, you can also create your own shirts. Duration is 8.5. It's a survivor game, so nothing new. And for the music, it's a 5. It's a 5 because there are no good music in this game. It's just a normal game, not music friendly. It deserves position number 8 overall. I think we can go ahead. We are going on the top, position number 7. And we have Mario Party DS. That is a must-have, guys, really. It's one of those games that you never get annoyed. And actually I spent a lot of hours on it, mostly with my cousins, and I have really a lot of memories. I will tell you in the gameplay the reason why the position is a little low for a Mario game. This is Mario Party, in case you don't know it. As I said, this game is in my top 10 because I played a lot with my cousins, mostly on Download DS. With Download DS you can link up to 4 Nintendo DS together and play the same game. It was very cool. And my whole nostalgia for this game is on that. Even because the story mode is a little short. It must be said, however, that you can play the story mode with a lot of different characters. So it is still enjoyable. And that's why it's 10 for playable. Nothing better of Mario Party. 9 for duration, for the story mode thing, and 7.5 for the music, because there is nothing special about music, so it's a good number, 7.5, but not so good. And this was Mario Party. At the position number 6, we find the first boxed game, Mystery Detective. You should see it very well this time. I bring it a little closer, but you should see it. I also have the manuals, because I was lucky and I found this game new. This is an unknown game, but you definitely should play it. Now let's see the gameplay, so I'm going to explain better. And this is Mystery Detective. Now it's loading. The nostalgia in this game is everywhere. Yeah, this game is very full of nostalgia, but I will show you what is the main reason why this game is here. When you go on this menu, that is like summary of every solved case, you can listen to this song. And this song gives me a lot of feelings. Every time you finish a chapter, you can hear to this music, because you can see her, Mackenzie, writing on this book. Now let's see a little of gameplay. As you can see, also this soundtrack music is very cool. And what you need to do in this game, you are a detective. As you can see, this is episode 1, named Furto in Italian, and you are a detective and you have some clues, some objects like this cookie or this cake, the butterfly, and so on. Yeah, it's a bizarre game. It's like in a utopic world. Then you can go in other places, like in the park, and we can see this is an inhabitant of this world. And ahead you can see the skating ring, of course not accessible right now. And here we have Chloe. Chloe is one of the friends of Mackenzie. Now she's sleeping, but yeah, there are Chloe and Penelope in this game. I was forgetting about the votes. Let's give some votes. Playability is 8.5, not more, because when the game is finished, you can play again, but it's still the same, so 8.5. However, the gameplay is very cool according to me. Duration is 8, and music is 9.5. For sure you already know why. We are in position number 5, and we find Animal Crossing Wild World. I was very lucky to find it for only 20 euros at the GameStop like 8 years ago. And what can we say about it? It's a masterpiece. This is at position number 5 because on the higher places there are games that gives me also more emotions. That's crazy, right? Because keep in mind that Animal Crossing is my favorite series. Well, let's see the gameplay, where I will explain you what I think about it. I think this game no needs presentations or comments, because as I said, it's a masterpiece. Guys, I will not enter into the game because I don't know if you know how Animal Crossing works. If you go inside, you must do a lot of things, and this is not the case. I will just left the main menu and the soundtrack that is iconic for real. Nowadays everyone knows Animal Crossing, but if you don't know it, I will explain what you need to do into the game. It's a simulation life. You need to catch bugs, fishes, then you can sell them in order to pay your house, or you can donate at the museum, and with the money you can buy stuff, like stuff for your home, like something for the wall, or lamps, beds, and so on. Then every day someone special arrive on your city, some particular and special characters. As I said, no need presentation for this game, because this is history. Also because this is the ancestor of the actual game that we have on Nintendo Switch. Let's go for the votes. Playability, I give 10 with no dubs, because it deserves it. We can't say it's boring. Duration 10, because the game has no ends. About the music, 9, just because, just for not giving all 10. But yeah, it's a 9 because Animal Crossing has beautiful soundtracks. For example, if we follow these votes, Animal Crossing should be first, because it's 29 out of 30. If this was a top 10 of Nintendo 3DS, the music would have been different. At the position number 4, there is one of my favorite games ever, even more than Animal Crossing, Anno 1701, that I recently both boxed. It's a cool game for real. If you don't know the Anno series and you like strategy games, this game is for you. I played really a lot to Anno 1701. I have memories of me playing this game at 3 AM. It was insane, but is a very cool game for me. But not in story mode, because it's quite short, but in continuous game. It was very cool. You can choose your enemies and you can start from zero to create your city, your island or whatever. If you don't know this game, I will show you what you can do here. You can add something like carpenter, you can add some food, streets, more food or clothing. You can add public buildings like the market, the tavern, the school and so on. Then you have defensive structures, for example firefighters or clinic, and then you have the guardhouse. That is really important in this game. Then you have the army, of course, in order to defend your island or attack the other islands. And then there is this map that is the international map where you can find the other island. The cool thing in this game is that those islands change every time you create a new game. I mean, there are a lot of islands, but not every time the same islands. You can create warship or exploring ship. It depends if you want to attack or just to explore. And that's Anno. In here you can look at your city that it's actually growing, and then those houses will change. I mean, right now they are colons, but they will become citizen, then aristocrats. Of course, they have to pay taxes, and here you have the balance. The first one is the number of population right now. Then we have the taxes that are paying your citizen, the cost of public buildings, the cost of food, and how your army costs. At the end, of course, you have the total, and in this case is negative and we are losing money. As playability, we have 9.5. That's because the game never ends. Duration is 8 only because I wanted to count the story mode, that is very short. And about music is 10. It can't be lower than 10 because all those music that you can listen to in game are very cool. We are in top 3, so third place for the last game with no box. So it's lose, unfortunately. Yu-Gi-Oh! Nightmare Troubadour. Not sure about the pronunciation. This is one of those games that when I think about it, I turn very nostalgic. You can't imagine. Also right now, while I'm looking at it, I remember the soundtrack that you can listen to when you create your deck. That's crazy. I just played a couple of weeks ago and I'm always happy to play with this game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Third place, and let's find out why the third place. This is the music that I was talking about when you create the deck, and it's something very particular. When I listen to it, I travel back to 10 years ago when I was 18 and I had so much time to put into video games. And of course I used to create my deck, and as the other games, this is not my save. I bought later this cartridge, but still, I mean, I played a little with this cartridge and we can find some card that I also had in my old save. Unfortunately, when I was in London with my friends, they deleted my save, yeah. And what you should do in this game? Well, you must go out from your house and then look for players, obviously CPU, and when you find someone you can go for a duel. Now we met Thea, that is one of the weakest in the entire game. The goal of this game is of course to become the best duel master ever, Yeah, it's not easy. And about the story mode, it's very cool, but the best part for me, also after the story mode, was dueling with those CPU. They are the same as in the cartoon, but if you know something about Yu-Gi-Oh, you know that every duel is different, because you don't know what card you will get. Now I'm just playing randomly, but this Yu-Gi-Oh, according to me, was the best Yu-Gi-Oh ever made for a portable console. I also know PSP Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't know if it's the same, but it also was cool. And I don't really like the most recent Yu-Gi-Oh games. Playability, we have a 9 for the reason I said. Duration 8.5 for the story thing. And for the music we have 9, of course. Both for the deck menu soundtrack, but also for those random songs during the game. And this was Yu-Gi-Oh! Nightmare Troubadour at 3rd place. Now let's go ahead. We have 2 more games. Position number 2 for Mario Kart DS. It could not be otherwise, because I won out this game. This game is in a higher position, not for the gameplay, because you know, after a while races comes to an end, but mostly for the multiplayer thing. I mean, you could link 8 Nintendo DS and play on the same circuit. It was amazing. And thanks to this, I used to play with my cousin, my sister, my uncles, and we used to play together very often. We also arrived 300, 400 point the first. I mean, infinite races, right? Until now, almost every game we tried was mostly touchscreen. Not Mario Kart. Mario Kart is a classical game, like Dragon Ball Super Sonic Warriors 2 at the beginning of the video. What you should do on Mario Kart? Easy. You have to win a race. And of course, as I said, the coolest thing is that you can link up to 8 consoles together and you can play with your friend, with your cousins, with your uncle, with who you want. Of course, there are a lot of characters and you can choose the one you like. Some characters you can unlock if you complete the story mode. Of course, right now I'm just playing to show you what Mario Kart was and is. I'm not sure this is my ghost because it's a little slow. This should be one of those cartridges that I bought later. By the way, I used to play with my cousin, as I said, a lot of time, and we created tournaments, mostly on classic mode, so the one you should win, but also with different type of mode. Yeah, it was very cool, and we used to play almost every Sunday. About the votes, we have 10 for playability. Of course, there is no other games more playable than this. Duration 9, not for the story mode this time, but I should considering the fact that you can play forever with your friend or blah blah blah. So that's why it's 9. 8.5 for music, a good number, but yeah, this is still a racing game, so the soundtracks are not special like the other that we already see. But still a good number, a good vote. And this was Mario Kart. What can we add more? By the way, this was the second place, and now let's see the first place. My favorite game ever. Only one place remains. And who could it be, if not the best game ever created for the S&D series? So, position number 1 for Pokemon Diamond. It could not be otherwise. It could be Platinum, Pearl or Diamond, but in this case it's Diamond. It was the game that allowed me to get to know the Pokemon world. This is the cartridge that I lately bought again because the one that I had was worse. I bought the complete game like 7 or 8 years ago at GameStop, and I don't know how GameStop had old manuals. That's very strange. And what can we say about this game? This is the game that, more than every other game, gives me a lot of nostalgia and emotions. Already from here, from this screen, the nostalgia begins. Obviously, the cartridge is what it is. Wait, let's do something. Since it's my favorite game, and since it is at the first place on my top 10, let's take my cartridge, so I can show you something at least. And what can we say about Pokemon Diamond? Well, it's a part of a big franchising that is Pokemon, that made a lot of success all over the world. This was my team. Usually I don't take legendaries Pokemon on my team, but in this case, since this is not my main account, I mean, I used to play when I was younger on another cartridge, but this is a new one, but not so new. So yeah, it's a second play, it's not my first play. That's why I used the Alga. I never used legendaries Pokemon on my first run. I used to have 300 hours on my main save. And this was what I had in my boxes. This was box 4 because the other 3 are full. Of course, shiny Pokemon in this generation was an optional, not like now that it's so easy to get one shiny. But I'm looking at it and I see that I had a lot of good Pokemon. Probably this Pokemon comes from another save. By the way, as I said, you should become the best Pokemon trainer of all the Sinnoh region in this case. And I'm so linked to Diamond because it was my first Pokemon game, as I said, and because of the soundtracks. The soundtracks are amazing. You can never forget the first Pokemon. Now let's go to the route that most of all gets me more emotion and nostalgia. Nope, it was the other one. Also the music of the bicycle when you go on the bicycle. Wow. Yes, it is. It's this one. Wow. And this is the reason why to Pokemon Diamond I gave 10 to the music. It's not the only reason, but come on. The 4th generation is full of good music. Actually, every Pokemon game before the 6th generation has a lot of good music. Duration vote is 9 because the story is quite long, and as playability I give 9 also for the Exploro kit. Well guys, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the top 10. If you want that I make other top 10 of other consoles, let me know in the comment or on Instagram, because I have a lot of consoles, so maybe I can make other top 10. This time I only choose the game I have, but for other consoles I can add also the game I played. Guys, thanks again, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, a comment and subscribe to see more videos like that, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!